Hi friends, how are you today? I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. My name is Bailey Sarian and today is Monday, which means it's Murder, Mystery, and Makeup Monday. New theme song. If you're new here, hi, my name is Bailey Sarian, and on Mondays I sit down, I talk about a true crime story that's been heavy on my noggin, and I do a makeup at the same time. If you're interested in true crime and you like makeup, I would say subscribe. It's free. But listen, today we're doing something a little different. I went on my Instagram, boop, 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 and I was like, hey, do you guys have any questions? Like, let's do a little Q&A. Let's do some kind of fan theories out there on some cases we've already done. So I'm going to read some of your guys' questions you have, and let's talk about some cases and some theories that you guys have thrown out there, and just kind of talk about some episodes that we've done in the past as well. Listen, let me have this, okay? I just did some very hefty stories recently. I needed a little breather, so I thought I'd do this. I mean, what'd I do? Menendez, Zodiac, Lydia, whose name I got wrong. Her name was Lyda. Didn't find out until I was done filming. It's like, oh my God. In the comment section, everyone's like, is it Lyda or Lydia? And I'm like, you guys, I'm dumb. Okay. So I'm going to do my makeup too because I'm a little crusty dusty. So might as well get ready for my day. I pulled some products. Do any of you remember when I used to do my old school get ready with me's and I would just sit and talk? That's what this is kind of giving. And I love it because I miss that. But I pulled some products so I haven't used in a while. So if my makeup looks questionable today, just know I'm playing. Don't put pressure on me. Let me have some fun. You know, we all have those products in our drawers that just kind of sit there and you look at them and you're like, I don't want to get rid of you, but I'm going to use you one day. So I pulled some of that stuff. So here I go. I'll list what I'm using down below if this turns out cute or something. I don't know. Anywho, let's start with some questions. So first question, here we go. Satan's Little Snack. That's the username. Has there ever been a case where halfway through research, you decided you weren't going to do it? Now, I saw a handful. I get asked this a lot, actually. If, there has been a case where halfway through, I was like, I'm not going to do it. I was trying to think. I was thinking. And there really, I can't name one off the top of my head. There has been a couple of cases where I was just had to, abort mission because there really wasn't any information. It would be one or two lines here and I couldn't find anything else. And it was okay, there's nothing here. So there have been a couple of those. I think for the most part though, here, I don't like to do stories that involve kids, I really don't. So those usually if I realize there are a lot of kids involved, I'm no. But usually I just go for it. Thank you for your question. At a Ferris_wheel, great name. What's the case that creeps you out the most? Oh, that's a good one. Okay. I think one that creeps me out the most is it's an old episode. The Toy Box Killer. Do you remember that? Okay, way back when. Did a story about the Toy Box Killer. And this is when I went on that long rant about that little town called Truth and Consequences. That was the name of the town where all of this took place. And it was what the hell is up with that name? Well, I found out there was a TV show called Truth and Consequences. It was a game show. And they had some kind of raffle. And if you won the game or whatever, you got to pick the name of your town and they would name it Truth and Consequences, whatever, doesn't matter. But the Toy Box Killer guy, he had a big piece of property. He would pick up ladies at a local bar. He would drug them. He would take them back to his creepy ass trailer. He would tie them up to he got a when you go to the gynecologist and you get in that stupid chair and you have to put your legs in those stupid things. He got one of those in his trailer. So he put the victims in there, put them in there. He would tie them up to the chair. He would leave them in there until they woke up. And when they would wake up, the victims, a recording would be playing. And it was a recording that he made. It was all about what he was going to do to them, how they were bad people. And you can listen to the recording online and it's just so creepy.
Hello there, bitch. Are you comfortable right now? I doubt it. Wrists and ankles chained, gagged, probably blindfolded. You are disoriented and scared too, I would imagine.
And then he would come in and he would allow his friends to come in and do whatever they wanted to the victims. And the whole thing is just so disturbing. And a lot of the times the victims would be just so drugged, they wouldn't even remember a lot of it. Most of the victims wouldn't make it out alive. There was one victim who made it out alive, and she'd had like no memory of it until police officers, because he also recorded everything on videotapes. So police officers, they eventually catch the guy, they find the tapes, and they end up finding the victim. And they're like, hey, do you remember this guy or whatever? And she starts having flashbacks of like, yes, I kind of remember him. And then they show her the tape. She has like no memory of any of this happening. So she's seeing for the first time like what happened in the trailer. And it was a whole thing. It was awful. He gets caught, arrested, and then his dumbass, as soon as he gets arrested and like a week later has a heart attack. Pfft, lame. But it was dark. It was gross. It was disturbing. That one for sure creeped me out just because of everything I said. It was disgusting. And just knowing that there's like such creeps out there like that. Kennedy_Saint_Dennis. Is YouTube your full-time job, or do you have a day job? So yeah, YouTube is my full-time job. Yeah. So I know what you guys see, like it's just 1 or 2 videos a week or whatever, but so much work goes into dark history and murder mystery. I got a whole team helping me out here, okay? I got editors, I got researchers, I got writers. With dark history, like so much research, writing goes into those episodes to make sure that we're sharing factual information. It's like, yes, my delivery is kind of like, haha, funny, whatever, but what we're saying, or what I'm saying, is like facts. We're always going after facts. And with every single episode, we make sure to get an expert to review them. So we have to find like an expert to make sure that we're telling the story correctly. And then it goes through legal to make sure, we're legally, are we good? And then for murder mystery, it's the same thing. Research. I just started working with a new researcher. He's incredible. And he gathers like all of the information, fat packets of research. And before, it was just kind of like, I learned how to like get court documents, how to just find all the information, but it would take forever. So now it's like having someone do that is incredible, and like just gather it all for me. Then taking that fat packet, going through the whole thing, right? And then writing the story. Usually when I do like a murder mystery, I just get really involved. I watch every video I can find about it. If there's like interviews or documentaries about them, I'll find books to read just to really fully make sure I understand the full story and not just Wikipedia or something, And then the same thing, like once the script is done, the writing's done, then it has to go through legal, make sure everything that's good. And filming. A lot of people ask like if I plan what makeup looks I do for murder mystery. It's like, no, usually when I sit down, I'm like, today I'm feeling purple or something, and I just kind of go for it. I think maybe if I did plan my makeup a little bit more, it could probably help me out. Because some days I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know. But I don't. I'm a free spirit. But yeah, so a lot of work goes into making dark history and murder mystery. And it is my full-time job. And I love it. It's so fun. Like, I really found a love for storytelling throughout the years, which is so random. Is it? Yeah, I never really thought I would. My whole life is murder, true crime, and in history. And when I go home, all the stuff I read, even on my free time, is still usually either true crime related or history related. And I'm really, it's like, maybe I should find like another hobby But then I always end up like tying back to true crime or history or something. So I need to find a balance. I need hobbies. Thank you for your question. Thank you. Oh, is it a twist off? I think I broke it. At Braylon, _, 15, asked, what serial killer scares you the most? For me, it's Richard Ramirez. Richard Ramirez is pretty creepy, especially when he like filed his teeth down. Like, that's psycho. That's psycho. What's a serial killer that creeps me out the most? Who scares you the most? I'm going to say Zodiac only because it's top of mind because, one, this person never got caught. Two, because this person like killed, and this is gonna sound gross and stuff, but like normally when a serial killer kills, it's like they usually like sexually assault the victim or something. Like they rob them. There's something. But with the Zodiac killer, it was just like so random. No rhyme or reason. He didn't stalk or anything. He just like found people and like killed them. And like that to me is really creepy. Oh, but then BTK, yeah, he was creepy too because he was the stalker type who would follow people, break into their homes, and would make them do awful things. Wait, that might be my answer. He was pretty gross. He was like a Cub Scout leader, leader of the church or whatever. I'm sure I'm gonna like be, you know, when you drive home after like an interview or something and you're like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. That's gonna be me right after this. I think BTK, final answer. And Zodiac, we'll go with that. Thank you for your question. I mean, Richard Ramirez is a good one though. Kooky, he was a kooky one. I'm gonna try these concealers. I'm very excited. At PYT _Hannah _. How old were you when you got into true crime? That's a great question. My mom was a 911 dispatcher. I've mentioned this before. Growing up, and I would beg her to like let me go to work with her. And, you know, looking back as an adult, I'm like, she should have never taken me to work with her, but she did. And so I was young. I was like 9, 10, I don't know. But I would sit in, I'd put on the headphones, and I would listen to like the 911 calls coming in. It was like, whoa, you have no idea what's really going on like right now, every single day. And it's just crazy. I don't know. It was like my first introduction to, I guess, just the real world. But it also got me just really curious about like, why do these things happen? Why? I always had like, why was my favorite question. Why? That I feel like is kind of like really where it started, but also I feel like it was JonBenet Ramsey. I was super young when that happened, but I remember it being all over the news and thinking to myself like, oh, you can die when you're a kid. Like it was a new thing I was realizing, and it was, again, why though? I thought you only died when you got older. And the fact that like still unsolved, everyone has their theories, and it's like with that one, will we ever know really the answer? I don't know. But yeah, it started then. I've always kind of been a little morbidly curious, I would say, and that's, I think, okay. I mean, that's how people become like investigators and shit. It's the curious ones. But it definitely started young. Thank you for your question. At Sydney _Rianne is asking, how are you? That's such a nice question. Thank you. You know, not a lot of people ask. I'm good. I'm great. I can't complain. I'm doing good. I am taking care of myself. I'm eating better. I'm sleeping. I've been like prioritizing a routine for the first time and like trying to stick with it. I just feel like a grown-up. You know, for a long time I just like wasn't taking care of myself, and I thought I was, but I really wasn't. So now I just kind of been taking care of myself, and I would say like it's good. All good things. One thing I would like though, I think I'm ready for a pet. Yeah. You know, I had my dog for a long time, and then he passed away. And you know how that is. Like when you lose a pet, it's awful, and you're like, I can't get another. I can't get into another relationship like that. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And I feel like I would like a little companion, a little dog. But also, I'm debating with myself if that's also realistic though, because I have to be responsible. And like I'm not home a lot. I work a lot. I'm always working. So I don't know. But I'm kind of like, you know, I would really like a dog. I would really like a dog again. And I would adopt. Don't shop. Yes, but I'm good. Thank you for asking. That was very nice of you. At Arlie_girl444. What did you want to be when you were a kid? That's a great question. I was that kid who's kind of always getting, not in trouble, but kind of, because like I was the daydreamer. I was always in La La Land. I was very imaginative. And I also like did not do well in school. Okay, I did not do well in school at all. School and me, we don't work. So it was like hard because like as I got older, I had like no direction as to like what I was going to do or anything. I went to community college and I just was still like, I don't know what the F I'm doing. I took art classes and I really enjoyed painting and drawing. I really got into oil painting and I was like, maybe I'll do that. And then you learn you don't make money doing that, right? So I just like worked retail for forever, and it was like, I just kind of thought I was going to do retail for a long time. As a kid though, like realistically, I wanted to be like Britney Spears. I wanted to be Hilary Duff. I wanted mainly to be Britney. But I knew that wasn't, no, I still believe I can maybe still be Britney. But when you look at poor Britney now, I want to be early 2000s Britney. Poor Britney now. Oh God, I'm watching her videos. What's she doing? I can't do it. Yeah, I don't know. I had no direction. So then I started doing painting and all that, right? So then one day I kind of made the correlation that painting and makeup were the same thing. Like painting faces, shadows, shapes, eye shapes, face shapes, and contouring and bone structure and everything you learn with like painting, it also applies to makeup. And once I made that connection, it was like, oh, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do makeup. So I was working at Sephora. I worked there for 5 years. I worked at Sephora and I learned so much when I worked there. And I loved it. I loved making people just feel good about themselves and showing them like, look, you just like with these 3 products, boop, 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 you can like change and just feel good and powerful and beautiful. And I loved that. And I thought I was just going to kind of keep doing makeup. I was a freelance makeup artist for a few years. I did a lot of wedding makeup. And then I was a makeup assistant. So I would work with celebrity makeup artists and do that. And I learned a lot. And if you're a freelance makeup artist or freelance like hair stylist, you know your back hurts. Your back fucking hurts. So I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. But if I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now, I think I would still probably be freelancing and doing makeup of some sorts. It brings me a lot of joy. It really does. I love makeup because it's a way for me to paint every single day. Cute, huh? Kinda. I don't know if that's an inspirational story at all. Anyhow, next question. ilm_Jordan. What are the 5 cases you struggled to cover on MMM? That's a great question. God, I can think of so many every episode because it's like sometimes there's so much information and it's like, I tell you guys all the time, I'm like, this could easily be a 5-part episode. And you're like, do it. I'm like, nah, I can't though, because for some reason, like if I do a 2-parter, YouTube for some reason just doesn't like that. People never watch the second part. So it's like, I don't know. That's not the point. 5 cases, I would say. Menendez brothers. I know I literally just did it, but that one was really hard. There was so much information and there was so much that I had to decide, like, I really wanted to mention certain things, but at the same time, it was like, okay, this is like, I'm going on hour 3 here. Like, I gotta, filming wise, and it's like, okay, you gotta just cut it out. And how do you make it make sense and still talk? That one was hard. I really struggled with that one. So Menendez brothers, you know what? Let me just pull up my fucking YouTube. I'll tell you right now. Sorry. I've done so many episodes here. I think I've done almost over 200, or I'm getting close, which makes me kind of sad because if I'm over 200 episodes, then I didn't even celebrate. Okay. Menendez brothers. Then what's his name? What is his name? Bozo. What's his name? Charles Manson. That took me forever to get there, but I got there. Charles Manson, because a lot of the times I think I have an understanding of like what the story is or whatever. And then once I start researching and like really reading everything, I realize I'm like, wow, I had it all wrong. And also I think a lot of us have been looking at this wrong. So with Charles Manson, I was so freaking deep in it. And like that one, I was so sick of him. Charles Manson, okay? Do you remember that Cannibal Cop episode? Well, if you don't, it's not that old. I did it not too long ago. Cannibal Cop was kind of hard to cover. If you watch the episode, I know we can all agree that his fantasies about cooking and eating women and stuff was gross, and he was posting it online and it was weird and stuff. But then there was like that dilemma of fantasy versus real life. And it was hard because, like, should you go to prison for your dark fantasies? And, like, it was, like, a struggle of, like, yeah, like, ew, gross. Like, he was so gross. His fantasies were so gross. But technically, he didn't do anything. And, like, even with that, I'm like, ew, but what if he did? But what if he did? But he didn't. So it was like, and then there's that scary discussion of, like, well, what if you are just truly, you have some dark fantasies and you share them, and what if you just get locked up forever for that? Should that be allowed? I think we can all agree no, but even I have hesitation, like, but it was like, it was real people. That one was kind of like a struggle. I still am like, I don't know, it was so gross and dark and twisted, and the fact that he was tying in real people with his fantasies is what made it seem like it was real and it was going to happen. But technically, he didn't do anything. They were just his fantasies. That one was hard. I was just like, and I read his book. Which was so, he's like, yeah, I thought about eating people. I mean, whatever. It's not a big deal. I mean, doesn't everyone like have something like that? And I was reading it like, I mean, no. But okay. Yeah, so that one was kind of hard. Okay. You know else who was kind of hard? Jodi Arias. I didn't realize that she had like she has like very passionate fans. So I'm over here thinking that we're all on the same page. We're like, she's crazy. I'm sorry, she is. And she brutally killed this poor man who didn't want to freaking be with her. And she just could not accept that. And she brutally killed this guy. She deserves to be in prison. And I thought it was like, we all agreed on that. And then when I uploaded the video and I was getting a lot of DMs and stuff about like, she didn't get a proper trial. You're not for women. And I was like, I just didn't expect that response. Like, she has passionate fans who kind of believe she shouldn't be in prison. And that one, like, the story itself wasn't hard. It was more so the feedback afterwards where I was just like, what? Am I in a different world? Like, what am I getting wrong here? Sometimes it's that part that actually makes it kind of hard. She brutally murdered someone. Like, brutally. It wasn't like an accident or anything. Like, brutally, okay? You gotta be locked up for that. Sorry. Okay, I don't understand. Like, that doesn't make me against women. So fucking weird. Last one, Terry Schiavo. Terry Schiavo is one of those stories also where it was like I remember hearing about it, but I never really understood the full story. So then once I started reading everything and about her husband and how he really, really tried everything he could to help his wife and his partner and be there for her, and how the media ripped him apart, how Terry's family was dragging him, and I just felt like, again, I had like no full understanding of the actual story, just kind of what I vaguely remembered. Like her husband was bad, because I just remember hearing that all the time, and then you learn about it and you're like, oh my God, her husband actually was kind of like the partner you would hope to have in that situation. And he was made such a villain, and everyone just kind of owes him an apology. And then the freaking Pope got involved, and it was like, what the fuck is even going on with this story? This poor woman, at the end of the day, she wouldn't have wanted to be in that situation. And it was just a sad story. I read Terry Schiavo's husband came out with a book, like telling his side. Terry Schiavo's family came out with a book telling their side. So I read each of their books. And Terry's family, I was judging. I was like, you guys are okay, all right. And it was just sad. It was really, really sad. You know, I think in the comment section too, you guys really kind of felt the same way. And yeah, it was a pretty deep story. It was just emotional too. 5. Yeah. So I think just top of mind, those are my 5. Great question. At Mini_Mosh. What's something about you that people would find surprising? I don't know. That's a good question. Thank you so much. What would people find? I don't know. Oh shit. Oh, you know what? When I was younger, I tried like all the sports, because I was trying to find something that I was good at or just like liked. So I did swimming for a while, and I went to like it was a state competition, whatever. So I won second place. Yeah, I won second place in freestyle, and I think I won, it was like 3rd or 4th or something in butterfly. That was cool. And then I quit because I remember there was this one time while swimming, I was so tired that I started, I couldn't swim anymore. So I started to drown, and I was just at the bottom of the pool looking up like, I'm going to die. And then after that, I was like, I think I'm done. So I quit. And then I remember in high school, I tried out for soccer. Because again, I was just trying to like find the thing. So I tried out for soccer, and I realized there was a lot of running involved. I really didn't take that into consideration. I was like, this is too much running. You don't stop. So I dropped out of that. I did tennis for a little bit, dropped out of that. I tried horseback riding. I fell off the horse really hard and never went back. I'm a quitter, I guess you can say. I used to play violin. I actually really enjoyed violin. I think what would be surprising now is like, I don't know. Yeah, is that surprising? Are you surprised? Oh, I was a cheerleader. Yeah. In high school, 9th, 10th, and half of 11th grade. I did cheerleading. It was like, it just kind of came easy, you know? It was fun. And I liked that you work together, you throw people in the air, trust. It was great, like bonding experience. But I went to cheer camp. This girl, she fell directly on my head. I went to go catch her. She fell on my head. I heard my nose crunch. I fell to the ground. I blacked out for a second. I remember coming to, and the coach was asking me, what's the date? What's the date? And I said something like, it was something off the wall, like pizza. And they're like, she's not okay. So I had a concussion. And because, like, I don't know, looking back, this was very questionable, but there was no like doctor on site or anything. So I don't think I should have like went to bed or anything, but I sure did. Went on like normal. That was when I like knew I broke my nose. I knew it was broken. Never got it fixed until a year ago. A year ago, I got my nose fixed finally, and for the first time in my life since 9th grade, I can breathe out of my nose. It's been incredible. Are you surprised? Let me know down below. At G3LLWTEAS Dale. Tisdale. What do you do when you're not filming videos? That's a great question. Thank you for asking. I read. I read a lot. Oh my gosh. It's so annoying. I'm always reading. I hate it. But I love it. Like, I love reading. I love learning. I've been taking art classes. Yeah, I've been taking art classes again. This is like a sketching class. I've never really been good with pencils at all and sketching. So I thought I would give this a try and do a sketching. We're doing figure drawing. We're doing portraits. We just started doing figure drawing. And it's been fun. And it's been nice to do something like that I'm not getting graded on. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no pressure to like do well. I'm just doing it for me. And that is nice. I haven't done something like that in a minute. I was taking sewing classes for a little bit. That was fun. But the classes were always like midday on a Wednesday. And it's like, yeah, I'm available at 1 p.m. on a Wednesday. Like, okay. No. So that was kind of irritating because I would love to like continue doing that. That was fun. But other than that, yeah, I'm reading. Right now I'm reading this ridiculous book that I would not recommend. It's just like, it's about aliens. It was recommended to me. And I'm questioning why this person recommended it to me. But it's just like wild conspiracy theories. I like to read books that how do I word this? It's like I don't agree with what they're saying, but I just like to learn like other people's, what they have to say. Doesn't mean I agree with it or anything. So yeah, I don't want to mention it just because like I feel like if you're in a vulnerable spot, it could easily suck you into some kind of weird dark conspiracy hole, and then you'll end up in a cult, and I can't do that to you. So it's a off the wall book. In summary, my takeaway with this current book I'm reading is that aliens are dolphins. That's the highlight so far I've gotten. So it's different. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm reading a lot. I'm watching true crime documentaries. I'm taking my art classes, talking on the phone with my boyfriend, hanging out. I don't know. Being cute. Yeah. So now let's move on to some fan theories. Shall we? Hold on, let me squirt my face. Squirt. Okay. Scott Peterson theories. At DAILEENVERA 8244. Dilene Vera? Okay, hear me out. This is my theory, but I'm not sure if there's more information out there. So remember that Lacey's grandparents' inheritance went to her and her siblings once they turned 30. What if the siblings and Scott got together to make her disappear? Since the inheritance was going to be split in even parts, they wanted to have more for themselves. And since Scott wanted to be single again and was struggling financially, they told him they would give him some money if he also helped. Also, if she was walking her dog and her dog was found without any injuries, that means that the person that took her knew her, because if not, the dog would have attacked a stranger. They also made sure that Connor wouldn't be born, because if he was born, the part of the inheritance that belonged to Lacey would have been for him. Okay, I see what you're saying. So in your comment, you said heritage. I'm assuming you meant inheritance. Okay. Maybe. I guess my only hesitation with that is like when you get a life insurance policy or whatever and like you go missing, well, her body was found. Usually like you won't get your life insurance or inheritance for like 7 years or something. Like there's a time limit. So I feel like they wouldn't get that quick result, but her body was found. I mean, I see what you're saying. It's a theory. Did they get money? I'm curious now. Did they actually get money? I don't remember. Okay, still Scott Pearson. At Rachel A.M. Ron 2430. A woman also came forward and said she was very pregnant at the time and had a close encounter with what she thought were two men trying to kidnap her, and something about that vehicle being seen in Lacey's neighborhood that day. The satanic cult theory sounds far off, but how much the media didn't want to focus on that tells me there may be something to it. So I've heard about this, and I went on, I was Googling. I still every once in a while check in, because I heard about this as well, that at the same time there was believed to be like a killer in the area who was targeting pregnant women at the time, but it wasn't mentioned at all during her case or whatever, because I don't know. Well, I think because, the police, they need to like make the case needs to be closed. But it was interesting that there were like rumors about another killer in the same area going after pregnant women. And it was like, was that ever looked into and taken a little bit more seriously? I believe there was like a woman who came forward later on who said she was like attacked in the same area as Lacey Peterson, and she was pregnant at the time, and she was able to escape, but they dismissed it. It was completely like dismissed. They wrote the guy off as just like, nah, he was just like crazy or whatever. But it was like, what if? I don't know. The truth is, like, the police might have looked into it. We just will never know, really, or maybe they didn't. They just wanted to put it on Scott. I don't know. I don't know what I think. But trust me, in the back of my head, sometimes I do think like maybe there was someone on the loose. Who knows? But then again, you look at Scott and his actions, and it's like he had like all the motive, right? Another woman, he was lying, he was living a friggin' double life, acting dumb, acting very suspicious. At the same time, it's like, how could it not be him? I think actually going back to that earlier question, that was a hard case to cover too. Because it's like, I wanted to believe like he's guilty, but at the same time, he didn't really get a fair trial. Never mind, just go watch that video. Because I don't want people coming after me. Because I don't know. But yes, I think maybe there could have been someone else working in the area, and who knows? I think he's up for like their resentencing or something soon, isn't he? Or a retrial? I think there's something going on. I gotta follow up. We'll see. Okay, now let's go to Zodiac theories. At Fern's Vlog 1968 said, my theory is that it was a small group of guys, a small psychotic friend group that nobody ever connected to each other that committed the crimes. One of them could have had his mom lick the envelopes. If they were licked, there are those envelope wetter roll thingies. I don't know the names. When did those come out? Sorry. A small group of guys. I mean, okay, that's valid. That's a theory. I guess my only hesitation with small group of guys is that, like, the killing at the lake where the killer in the costume, and it was kind of like, it was one guy, right? So do you think they were taking turns? I need some clarification here. Like, do you think they were working to, like, what was the goal, I guess? Just, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're allowed to have that theory, though, for sure. I kind of think it was one guy. I don't know what I believe. After doing that story, it was just like, shit, man, there are so many different theories as to what, like, some people believe that the Zodiac isn't even just one guy. It was just kind of like copycats. And, like, shit, that could be true, too. Because some people said he was a redhead, and the main suspect, what was his name? Arthur? He wasn't a redhead, so I don't know. It could be a small group of friends. But you know what? Okay, here's the thing. If it was a small group of friends, people talk. No one can keep a secret, okay? No one can keep a secret. Someone would have said something by now. There's no way a small group of friends would be able to keep it a secret by now. They would have told one person. You know what I'm saying? But maybe. But I don't know. At Tiffany J8512, I think Arthur was definitely a weird and deranged man, but ultimately I think he was just obsessed and a fan or wannabe copycat of the Zodiac, or possibly knew or was friends with the Zodiac. I too thought for the longest time that he was legit the Zodiac, because how could he not be with all the damning, albeit circumstantial evidence, right? I was convinced. However, he didn't match the police sketch in the face. The fingerprints didn't match, and ultimately the DNA didn't match. So that is what made me change my mind. But I honestly believe he either knew who Zodiac was, or he was just like an obsessed fanboy of Zodiac, because the amount of circumstantial evidence was astonishing, and that much cannot be coincidental, in my opinion. I hear you. I know. I was kind of thinking that too. Like maybe he kind of liked the attention he was getting, because people were thinking he was the Zodiac killer and like wanting to interview him and stuff. And like maybe he kind of liked that in a way. And yeah, I mean, to your point, the DNA and stuff didn't match. Fingerprints didn't match. Yeah, I know. But then to play devil's advocate, I mean, he could have been using, there were rumors that like he was putting glue on his fingertips so he wouldn't leave fingerprints behind. He could have had someone else like licking the envelopes for him. I don't know. I don't know. I want to believe it's him, but then you go down the whole rabbit hole with hearing other people's theories and what they think, and you're like, shit, maybe it's not him. Did you watch though that Netflix? This is the Zodiac speaking. That's what it was titled. It was like 3 episodes. When I watched that, I was like, it's freaking Arthur. It has to be. But to your point, they've never like linked anything to him. Oh my God, I know. I know. Who is it? And you're right, he didn't match like the sketches. I don't know. That one definitely kept me up. Like, what? Who is it? Well then, I mean, okay, that's great. But then who do you think it was, Tiffany J8512? Who is the Zodiac then? Who is it? Do you think it was one person? I would like to see that one get solved. So we have some theories from the TAMLA Horsford episode. Do you remember? Very suspicious story. Very shady people. Lots of comments in that episode with lots of good theories. We have one from at Kylie Moe. If she fell down the stairs, there's no reason to move her and say she fell off the deck. They could have just said she accidentally fell down the stairs. I think they pranked her by spiking her tequila with pills, and they dragged her to the deck and threw her off to make it seem like that's what killed her. If they were hanging out underneath when she died, roughly dragging her up the stairs by her wrist could explain the injuries. If they were hanging out underneath when she died, roughly dragging her up the stairs by her wrist. Why would they be dragging her back up the stairs, though? I mean, it's a theory. You're allowed to have your theories. I guess I just wouldn't understand, like, what? Okay, because remember there was, like, that lady who had all the Xanax or whatever? People who love their Xanax, and they don't waste it, from my understanding. So I feel like someone wouldn't waste one of their pills as a prank. But I could be wrong, you know? So I feel like pranking her and, like, spiking her drink, I don't know. I mean, maybe. But then why? I don't understand what you're saying about why would they throw her off in the first place? I guess to your point, like, why wouldn't they just say, like, she fell down the stairs, it was an accident? True. I think because, again, that lady was giving everyone pills. I don't know. That whole story is just fucking weird. And that poor woman, it was just like no answers. Bizarre. At Cassie Marie 2234 said, does anyone else find it super sus that she took a screenshot of her notifications but not of the actual app with all the info on it? And even more sus that the police didn't clock that as suspicious. Sorry, I'm just processing. Yeah, you're right. Now, there were a few comments mentioning the screenshots of the security system, of the door system, remember? There were some screenshots taken. And then the police ended up using those screenshots to kind of build like a timeline as to what they thought happened. Why didn't the police go into the actual app itself of the security system to get the full security, like open doors, opening and shutting, closed timeline versus just the screenshot of the notifications, because she could have hit some of the notifications. I mean, she could have hit some, but then why? I don't know. That story made my brain hurt, right? Because like none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. Sorry, I'm just thinking. I think the police were just too, they just like accepted it as an accident. And like, that's why they didn't think it was like suspicious. And the guy had ties with the police. The whole thing was just, I think, mishandled. I think we all can actually agree. Yeah, I don't know. Making my brain hurt. Ow. Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, there are a lot of comments about like the security system and how the police accepted like the screenshot of the door notifications and not like the app itself, because you can delete specific and singular notifications. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. And it's like too late now. Everything's been fucking erased. And same with like her camera, of course, wasn't working that night. Like the homeowners, their camera wasn't working. Of course it wasn't working. The whole thing was just fucking weird. So sad. It's like she just wanted to go out for like hang out with some friends, have a girls' night, whatever, and she ended up dead. And like it was the most bizarre way. No answers. Okay, one more from TAMLA. The TAMLA episode. This is from @DanielleWilliams-U9X. I love the stairs theory, but why wouldn't they just leave her body at the bottom of the staircase? I believe she caught Jose and the Xanax chick creeping with each other. Oh. They maybe thought she was sleeping after being drugged so they could have a little session with one another while she's asleep. But she was on the balcony smoking. I think she was pushed to be silenced. Listen to the interview. The Zanny chick said Jean was cheating on Jose. She said it just so matter of fact, like she was trying to make Jean look bad. Oh. Maybe. I didn't think about that. Maybe she did hear something or see something that she shouldn't have. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But you saw that Xanax lady, that Xanax chick. Like, you think he would be cheating on with her? She was loopy as fuck. I don't know. But then again, men's behavior is always very questionable, isn't it? That's a good theory. Maybe. But why wouldn't they just leave her body at the bottom of the staircase? I know. Why did they move her? That's the question. I don't know. But she was moved. Like, we know that. She was moved. But why was she moved? I don't know. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good theory. Okay, next we have some theories from the Casey Anthony episode. You remember Casey Anthony? Did you see her appearance on TikTok? She got shamed right off that platform. @StephCollins728 said, a lot of people think that Lee, Casey's brother, is actually the father of Kaylee. What? Also, the family found this out, and so Casey either let her drown in the backyard pool or someone drowned her, or a horrible accident happened and she drowned, and they didn't want anyone to find out how twisted their family actually was, so they just got rid of the poor baby. I'm sorry, but what grandparent waits a whole month without flipping out about their grandkid and kids' whereabouts unless you have a dad as an ex-cop and a mom and brother family unit that has obviously many problems and a lot to cover up? Processing. Okay. You're allowed to have that theory. Okay. But, okay, listen. But then in court, why would Casey Anthony say that her dad was the one like being abusive and whatnot, and not just mention her brother? Because remember in court, like she was like started making these wild accusations about her dad. So why wouldn't she, at that point, instead of throwing your dad under the bus, why wouldn't you just throw your brother if that's true? That's just my thought. I don't know. But obviously that family was fucked up. I mean, you're right. Like, if your grandkid is missing for a whole month, how are you like how does that, I don't know. But then again, they didn't know because Casey didn't tell them, and they weren't really checking in with Casey. She was living on her own, right? So they obviously weren't very close, or they probably would have known. Or maybe Casey, wasn't she lying and saying that her daughter was around? So how are the grandparents supposed to know until they know? You know what I'm saying? But then also, because I've heard about, a lot of people think like that she did drown in the pool in the backyard. But then why did the trunk of her car smell like a dead body? And why was it like abandoned and stuff? Why wouldn't they just report it as an accidental drowning? Why would they go to such great lengths to cover all this up? Why wouldn't they just say she accidentally drowned in the pool? You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't that be an easier lie? I don't know. I think Casey Anthony killed her. She really did get away, didn't she? I think her parents, or her mom specifically, was covering Casey's butt because it was all she had left. She lost her grandchild. Now she was going to lose her daughter. They were getting, dragged through the mud, the whole family. I think she just wanted it all to stop. She's in just freaking denial that her own kid could be such a demon, referring to like Casey. I don't know. I just think it was really sad that she threw her dad under the bus and her dad like tried to kill himself or something like that. The whole thing was just sad. Oh, that's that woman. Also from the Casey Anthony episode, at Dorothea Lynette, I think that they did look in the bag and they saw their granddaughter, and that's what messed up Casey's dad so much. And in a panic and to protect their daughter, the mom helped dispose of the little girl, and that's why they found the blanket from the room with the body in the woods. That's something someone who loves a child would include with them in their final resting place. Ooh, that's kind of dark, huh? But yeah, You think the mom would be involved? I mean, maybe. Yeah, I think the Casey's dad, he was heavily affected by this whole thing. That it just seemed, I believe that. The mom, I don't know what her deal was. Again, a denial, something. You really think maybe she was involved? She wrapped her in the, really? I mean, maybe because she was just trying to like protect her daughter, prevent her. But again, why would they, this is dark, but why would they dump the body in the woods where eventually it could be found? Again, this is dark. Wouldn't you like bury them on your property? Because it's your property and like no one's gonna find it. Maybe, no, because if they report the daughter missing and the police come searching the house, they're gonna see like something was just dug up or whatever. Okay, Bailey. Maybe. I don't know. I guess I never personally thought like the mom was involved, but maybe, huh? Is the mom still alive? She was in such deep denial. It was insane. Didn't Casey Anthony's mom and dad, though, get a divorce? I hope they did, because poor Casey Anthony's father, he seemed like he was really fucking going through it. And let's say because like Casey Anthony, she had those abuse allegations. Like, let's say those were false, which I think they were. That poor man, I felt very bad for him. He knew something. He was carrying something heavy. I wonder if the Casey Anthony family, I wonder if they even talk about it, or if they just pretend it never happened. I wonder if they just, old school families like that who just like never talk about it ever again. I wonder. They just pretend it never happened. Okay, so we have some theories from the Jalea Davis episode. That whole story was very suspicious. It was ruled an accident. Her friends were all acting weird. Her body was found like pretty far from her vehicle. Vehicle had like blood spatter, blah, 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 on the hood or whatever. Her clothes were found nearby. It was just a bizarre case. And still to this day, fucking bizarre. So we have a fan theory here from Georgie Nichols 3200. My theory is that Jalea was the passenger and she was being driven by someone else who was also under the influence. The driver was therefore driving recklessly and speeding before crashing into the divider. It was then the driver's head that hit the windshield, but Jalea flew out of the passenger side window. I'm following. Yep. In a panic, the driver got out and tried to help her, but realized that she was obviously gone. In a state of shock, the driver began picking up her clothes and hanging it on the railing. However, the driver soon realized they would be arrested for manslaughter because they were driving while intoxicated and caused Jalea's death. Therefore, they sped off in her car and dumped the car after getting clear of the accident before fleeing on foot or having a friend pick them up. Yes, 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 yes. I could see that. Yeah, sorry, connecting the dots. I'm following. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, probably someone else was driving. They did hit the railing. I could see she flies out of the car. They're probably panicking, drunk, whatever. Like you said, get out, try to help, but like just in a panic start putting her clothes on the railing. Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense. I guess my only thing is like, I just feel like at the end of the day, people freaking talk. And by now, somebody would have said something. But also, maybe not, Bailey. But yeah, I mean, I could see that. She was the passenger. Okay, yeah. I'm following. I think that's a good theory. But then who was driving? Who was driving? Another one from the Jalea episode, Lulu Killer Kitty 95. I think someone was driving her car and she was in the back seat feeling sick from drinking. She maybe asked them to pull over so she could throw up, and she went in front of the car so she could see. Right, okay. I think she removed her clothes as she didn't want to throw up on them, and whoever was driving hit her. That would explain the blood on the roof and trunk, and then drove down the road to flee the car. She likely hit the guardrail after falling off the back of the car. Oh, not a bad theory. Did they find vomit nearby the scene? I don't think they did. But then again, do we trust that they even freaking looked? You know. But I could see that, right? You would get in front of the car to barf, maybe. Yeah, you're right. Because like, if there was blood on the front and the back, she would have to get hit, and then like, yeah, you guys, I don't know. That could be something. But would you take off your clothes to not? I mean, shit. When you're drunk, yeah, maybe. Because she didn't want to like vomit on them. Not a bad theory. But then didn't like they have to hit her at like a kind of a good speed for her to be able to get hit by the car? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. All right. I mean, that's not a bad one. Maybe. I think maybe. It's all coming back to me. That was a really weird one. I think that's the only explanation, is that someone had to hit her. I think someone else was driving. Or, I don't remember if I said it in the video, like she might have like tried to pull over and put her car into park or something, but she didn't really put her car into park and she gets out to go vomit or something, let's say. But then who put her clothes in the area? So, the whole thing, man. Let me know if you'd want to do a murder mystery makeup updates episode where we go through and we update some episode. I don't know. I'm mainly thinking like Casey Anthony, because like, you know, she made her appearance on TikTok or whatever. I'm like, what is she doing now? Also, if there's been any things, people who have come forward, especially with the like Jalea case, like I'm curious. Because like reading the comments, it's like I'm actually curious to know if there has been any like updates, movements, or just anything. But let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I would be more than happy to, we'll call it a circle back murder mystery makeup. Let's do one more fan theory for Jack the Ripper at KNP_1992. What do you think about the theory that Jack the Ripper was actually Mary Piercy, a woman who got away with it because she was a midwife and could walk around town with blood on her clothing and no one would question it? Okay, so what do I think about Jack the Ripper was actually Mary Piercy? I mean, it's possible. I guess my hesitation there is like, women killers are usually never that brutal. Do you know what I'm saying? And you know how, like, brutally murdered the victims were, and it's like, this could be very sexist of me, but I just feel like a woman killer would be more clean. Do you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's possible. Oh shit, I don't know. So Mary, she actually killed her lover's wife and child, and she was hanged for it. And that's kind of where that connection, that some people believe she could be Jack the Ripper. I guess. I don't see why not. I mean, anything goes when it comes to Jack the Ripper. I don't know. What would be her motive? But what was Jack the Ripper's motive in the first place? I don't know. I mean, it's a theory. It's a theory. Another one, Faye at Faye, though. My mind keeps going to the theory that Jack the Ripper was a woman. A man would never make it more than 5 years without getting sloppy AF. I know it's rare that violent killers are women, but it's not completely impossible. I mean, maybe we've just been looking in the wrong place the whole time thinking it was a man when really it was a woman. I did not blend this lip like I was hoping to. Maybe. Why not? But like, maybe. Do you really think a woman would kill like that though? Gotta be one angry lady. That's what I hate about those older cases. It's like, yeah, they just didn't have like the resources to solve it, right? They like took pictures of the DNA evidence. And it's like, damn, that sucks. If only they would have like kept something. Or like I remember in the Jack the Ripper episode, it was like there was blood all over the sidewalk and some guy got a hose and was just like, And it's just like, what a bummer. There's some cases I wonder if we're ever really gonna know. Do we want to know? Yeah, we do. We do. Well, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you for watching my murder mysteries, commenting, asking questions. I mean, looking back, like I've done so many episodes of murder mystery makeup, and to have like a minute to like sit and kind of just really think about like, god damn, I've done a lot, but I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you guys so much for just being here, subscribing, watching, commenting. I can't say thank you enough. I really appreciate you for being here throughout the years, and I hope you know that. Truly. Oh, it's an eyelash. I thought it was a spider. So yeah, let me know if you would like me to do an update episode and who you would like me to update you on if you're interested. If not, just let me know. No, Bailey, don't do that, and I won't do it. All right, you guys, that is it. I think this video is long enough. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. Did you? I'm not sure. Let me know down below. Have a good rest of your day. Make good choices. Oh, look at that. And I'll be seeing you guys later. Goodbye.